Hey everybody, my name's Arnaldo Offerman, and no, I'm not at Wiz Khalifa's house. I actually am running a little bit of fog in the background because I really want to show you how much fun you can have with the X-Laser Mirage. This small, powerful box gives you an incredible laser light show, either one unit, or you can link multiple units together thanks to its built-in power and data linking capabilities using the ILDA protocol. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the lasers. This can get really technical really fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a disclaimer. If you're an advanced laser user, you may scoff at this video because I'm going to try to take some of these terms and dumb it down so the average person cannot get confused. But now let's go ahead and go into the flip side. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then you need to take a proper LSO, laser safety officer class, or talk to a trained LSO. And more importantly, make sure you talk to somebody at X-Laser because these are not toys. If I look back and I stare at this thing, it's gonna hurt my eyes and I'm gonna get some free LASIK. More importantly, if that laser goes just slightly lower and hits my camera, well, there goes a $3,500 rig, and we don't want that. Lasers are not toys, DJs. You don't aim them at crowds, especially these units. With that being said, let's take a look because X-Laser have really gone out of their way to make this easy and safe for all of us. Now the software that I'm using in the background is Pangolin's Beyond. You can also use QuickShow. Make sure you guys look at my playlist because I do go over both softwares quite a bit and they offer their pros and cons. But that's for a different video altogether. Let's look at this guy. It's so cool. So what is the most noticeable thing about the MobileBeat Mirage? Well, first of all, the small size. It's almost half the size of the MobileBeat MK5. But as soon as I opened it, I was greeted with a nice little surprise. They will actually engrave. This isn't just like, just some little sticker. They actually etched in there my logo, and they did a really good job on it too. Next thing that's very noticeable is the aperture is protected by glass. My previous units, the MobileBeat MK5s, were not. On the side here, we have the little fins, which I'm guessing is for the cooling system. We've got a much better way to adjust the yoke. It's a much better built bolt. I do wish that they had the little hand nuts that you could actually just tighten, or wing nuts that you could do it manually. I know a lot of laser professionals don't like that because people will mess with it. But for mobile events, if I need to adjust something on the fly, I find that a lot easier. I also feel that people are tempted of just twisting this and eventually stripping out the bolts when they have to go get an Allen wrench. But really, if that's the biggest critique I have so far, we're doing pretty good. Much better built yoke too. The whole unit in general just feels more solid, more robust. This is by far their best built MobileBeat. On the top, we can mount in our safety cable, and I like the fact that they did it from the top, not from the back. And I'm gonna tell you why. This is just a personal preference. If this clamp were to ever undo, and this is not gonna undo, but if it ever were to, just give out, at least the laser comes straight down as opposed to swinging out. On the back here, we've got definitely a lot of updates compared to the MobileBeat series. Again, particularly to the MobileBeat MK5. We, of course, have our DMX in and out. Really, guys, when you're playing with the software or with these lasers, just get out of DMX. Use, a software like Beyond or QuickShow. Going on to the back of this, you've got your power switch. You have power or linking, ILDA linking in and out. Now in the MobileBeat MK5, we did not have that. We actually had to use a splitter. Did not care for that box at all. That was just additional stuff that I had to set up. Just wasn't happy with it. So I'm glad that they did do built-in linking so you can link multiple lasers to one FP3 or FP4 controller. This does not have the FP4 built in. FP4 allows you to basically control your lasers over a Cat5 network or Cat6. But if you want FP4 built in, they can custom make one for you, or they do sell the separate FP4 housing. If you have it built in, instead of using your ILDA cable to go in, you would just use network, your Cat5 Ethernet cable, which is awesome because it's much cheaper. You can go to Walmart and pick it up. And we have our security key switch and remote lock. This is very important, and most variances do require this. Basically, your interlock, so you plug this in, and you got to turn in your key. If you don't have both of those on, it will not turn on. Physical unit may be on, but the little pew 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 in there is not going to fire. Now, this is also what we call analog, not TTL. When it comes to lasers, analog is good. So again, for those of you that are not too familiar with lasers, the difference between analog and TTL is basically just solid on, solid off, right? So if you want white, it's full red, green, and blue. If you want purple, it's red and blue. If you want magenta, you can't, okay? Because you cannot physically dim the blue. It doesn't work like that, right? You can't dim the red. You can't dim your lasers if they're too bright. So in reality, you are very limited to what color mixing you have. It's almost like 16-bit color on Windows 95. Now with the Mobile Beat Mirage, and any analog laser, but the Mobile Beat Mirage is analog, you can actually dim the individual lasers. So what does this mean? Well, this means that if the color balance is off on the lasers, if I want it to be a warmer or a cooler white, I can do that. If I want to create a beautiful hot pink, I can do that. If I want to create oranges, yellows, different shades of different colors, I'm going to be able to do that with this laser. There is no display in the back, and the honest truth is, you don't need it. You don't. Now, some lasers have built-in modes and all that. You don't want to use the built-in modes or little extra features where a display may be needed. But for what this is offering, you do not need a display. It does not have, and this is something that you need to know ahead of time, it does not have individual red, green, and blue controls. So for example, if you are daisy chaining all these lasers together and you need to change the color temperature of one laser over the other for any reason, then you cannot do that. You basically, if you want to change the color temperature, you got to do it in the FP3, but it would affect every laser that's linked to this. So it's one of those things that when you want to really step up your laser shows, you're going to need multiple of the FP3 units or the dongles to go out to each individual laser. When you buy your Mobile Beat Mirage from X Laser, you get a couple different things. Obviously, you get your laser. Yeah, that's good. We want the laser to be in the box. This is the interlock, so you can turn it on, plus your keys. You do have two keys. They are exactly the same. Put one in a safe somewhere. If you see here, with lasers, you've got three different diodes. You have your red, blue, and of course, green. Well, what happens is with some of the cheaper units, those may get misaligned. And you're out of luck then, because you're going to have the red that is slightly off the blue, which is slightly off the green. So you don't have a true white. Now, let me get geeky on you for just a second. If you remember that the Mobile Beat, for example, and I keep saying the Mobile Beat MK5 because that's what I had, and the question is, why should I upgrade? Aside from the better colors, the fact that we have the analog versus TTL, the most important part is just really how compact and how much better built this box is. So for example, in this one here, the greens, traditional green lasers are what we call DPSS, right? It's an older diode. It's diode pump solid state. And I can do a whole video later on. I think I will. I'll do a video kind of explaining some of these differences. But this one, the green one, just like the red and blue, this is direct injection diode. So what that means is you're just going to have better color mixing. It's going to have a longer life. You're going to get much better color mixing. And most importantly, a longer life. It's rated at 30,000 points per second at 8 degrees. That's something that's very important when you look at different lasers and different brigands. Some of them are going to tell you the speed at 4 degrees. Nobody wants that. 8 degrees is industry standard, so make sure that it tells you at 8 degrees at the very least. Also, when you look at the brightness, basically the wattage rating, and when it comes to lasers, well, watts sort of do matter, unlike traditional lighting. But in this particular case, make sure that you ask your manufacturer, okay, is this in or out of the aperture? Meaning, are they rating this before it leaves the box or after it leaves the box? I really hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope that everything I said made sense to you. And when it comes to lasers, it's very different than the way that we work with traditional lighting. But more importantly, call somebody at X Laser and they'll help you set up with a unit that's going to work perfect for you. I really think that if you're looking for really crisp graphics, beautiful analog colors, and most importantly, an affordable price tag and an easy all-in-one box or all-in-one, turnkey box, that's the word I'm looking for, the X Laser Mirage is definitely it. My name's Ronaldo Offerman. Now, click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, and most importantly, share this with your friends. Leave any comments below. Do you have one of these units? Do you have the MobileBeat Mark V or the MobileBeat Max or any of the previous X Laser, maybe the Caliente or the X Beams? They got lots of great products out there. What laser do you have and what do you think about it? Leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for tuning in. Good night and God bless.